Well, MGTOW, welcome back. So, I've been looking around the manosphere lately, and I've noticed that you know some people in the community only have a vague understanding of what it is to be a monk. And if you want to learn to cook, right, you got to look at the what it is that those who are doing the cooking are saying. And since I'm a monk and I'm not ashamed of being a monk, I'm gonna tell you a bit about what this lifestyle within a lifestyle is like. You see, the hardest part of being a monk is not the sexual aspect of it, but rather the realization that you are alone. That there's no one there to share your sorrows, your hopes, your ambitions, your desires in life, your dreams. The real red pill that comes from knowing that the planet is empty. That is and that is only you that makes your reality possible. That women amount to very little more than a mannequin. And for that we have to picture a scenario where men come to the world first. We arrive to the world first, and we struggle. You see, at first no one knows their ass from their elbow, and many people die, right? Many men die. They get eaten by animals. They die of starvation. They die of exposure. And they die of loneliness. I believe it was the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, the French philosopher Sartre, who proclaimed that man is forlorn. That is, that man is sad because he is alone or neglected. And that is certainly the feeling that we experience when we look up at the night sky and get lost in the vast emptiness of it, wondering where do we come from, right? Is there anything else out there? And men have looked, we have looked for answers to these questions, right? And for a feeling of companionship. For as long as we have had a stream of consciousness, we have looked inside the rocks by analyzing the mineral content of these. We have looked up at the heavens, aided by curved glass. We have looked within ourselves. We have looked at other beings. We have looked at the evidence encrusted in the earth's top layer of soil. we have looked all over for answers to these questions, you know, and the nagging question that tops all of them, you know, are we alone, right? Are we truly alone, you know? Or at least is a very important question, you know. Is there something or someone else out there? And so we yearned for a companion, you know, for someone to make our lives a bit more bearable on this planet. And throughout, you know, through all of our struggles, you know, we found none, right? Except when these, you know, mind-baffling beings came along. These beings that we call women. And so there she is, you know, sitting in front of us, and, you know, perhaps on a rock, perhaps on a modern chair that you know, has been designed by computers, right? Past or present, right? There she is. We have discovered her, and we look into her eyes, and we ask, you know, are you here to give me company, to keep me company, right? Are you the one? And she most certainly cannot be a man, because she has a womb that is designed to carry children, and therefore we call her a woman. And so we tell her that, but she's offended. And we admire her beauty, her eyes, her body, the way she carries herself. The natural aspect of who she is, a woman. And so we get closer, you know, we approach in search of this companionship. You know, this feeling that perhaps, you know, or the satisfaction, right, that comes from knowing that perhaps these feelings of loneliness will one day vanish as a result of this being having been discovered by us. And the fact that she now shares this planet with us. And we hope that, you know, her company makes it all much more bearable, right? And since, you know, since I'm an atheist, guys, you know, I put a side note here, because I noticed that many of the Christian channels are they're accepted in the community, right? But MGTOW is it's a secular philosophy, as I've stated in some of my previous videos. I believe that this philosophy of, you know, the philosophy of the free man, the man who desires to be free, is a secular philosophy. And so I'm gonna go ahead and claim that that we are truly alone, and that is this, you know, this loneliness, this void, this emptiness that we feel, that is the hardest aspect of being a monk. And so why do monks reject women, right? I mean, you've been there. I've been there. We've all been there. You know, most of us have found ourselves in a situation where, you know, we're staring at a very familiar face, you know, the face of a past lover, and you know, there you were, right, staring at her, attempting to decipher exactly what happened. You know, why did she look so withered? You know, so weathered. And you know, this sort of situation usually plays itself out in a very mundane setting. You know, it happens while, you know, you're shopping for groceries, or you know, you might be at the supermarket or at a Walmart or something like that, or you're waiting in line at the registry of motor vehicles, right? You know, maybe you're just driving through, you know, the drive-through at your favorite fast food joint, right? And she's there. You know, but regardless of the setting, right? There she was, you know, after so many years, and you know, you surely did not expect to see her there, to find her there, and now you've come to regret it. And you know, you regret this chance encounter, you know, because it brings back memories of a bitter sweet past. But anyways, you're there, and you know, you're wondering what to make of the situation, and you know, the awkward moment that is to follow. And you know, your mind takes in the silence, right? Her silence, the rawness, you know, the pure rawness of the way in which, you know, she applied the lipstick, right? That makes her appear as if she's been devouring some freshly killed animals. You know, her hair is frizzled. You know, her body's been reshaped and misshaped with fat, and you know, she has obviously neglected herself for quite some time. And you know, you begin to wonder that perhaps she was mistreated by, you know, by a loafer, by a good for nothing bad boy, by a thug, you know, or perhaps a series of them. And you know, but in either case, she has done nothing, you know, but abandon herself, you know, abandon her previous image. And you know, it is in, you know, in one of those moments when time seems to stop, and your mind plays reruns of the many, you know, the wonderful nights that you spent together, you know, the joyful moments that you shared, you know, the laughter of a bygone era, you know, your feeling of having her, and wanting more of her, all at the same time. It is in these moments that you see the effect that this ideological filth that we call feminism has had on women. And so we, you know, you wake up from that dream, right, and you realize that, you know, those days and nights, they will never return. And you're a bit older now, and wiser, and you know, as I know, that no one worth possessing can be quite possessed. Now, I must have read that somewhere. You know, it must have been part of a poem, you know, somewhere. So please excuse me for not remembering, you know, exactly where it came from, but is certainly not original. And but in any case, this past lover of yours, this woman, right? She once was the kind of woman that any man could love at first sight. I mean, you found her, you dreamed of her, and you dreamed about her, right? You loved her. It was that kind of woman. And then for a time, you both dreamed together. You dreamed in the way that only the young can dream. You made her all yours, your lover, your best friend, your girl. And in none of those instances was there a way to know that that you'd be separated by the merciless passage of time. And so MGTOW is a rejection. It's the rejection of a ran down, degenerate woman such as this one. It's the philosophy of the man that wishes to be free, not just from women such as these, but from anyone and anything that threatens to put unnecessary burdens and responsibilities in our lives. And so that is why we become monks. It's not because we wish to dibble and dabble and in sexual affairs and do things halfway, and it's not because we find it pleasant, although there is, I must admit, an element of peace and tranquility in adhering to this lifestyle choice that we call monks, or being a monk. Some call it monk mode. Which leads me to think about why some guys take it so lightly. They see it as a superpower that that you put on and can take off at any given time, like a cape or something like that. One day you are a superhero, and the next day, all of your transhuman qualities are put aside for what benefit intimacy may bring. Anyways, MGTOW, these are some of my thoughts on what it is, what it's like to be a monk. And if you guys like this video, then I'll continue to produce more. But in the final analysis, I also want to say that if you look at the current state of the manosphere, and you realize what why it has become what it is, so it's why there's such a wide-ranging opinion, why there's so many so many wide-ranging opinions as to what the philosophy entails, is because there were people within the community who decided to talk about the same issues and call it something else. And that's okay, but just because we are going our own way doesn't mean that that we're doing whatever. There's a structure to this philosophy, and some of us adhere to the founding principles of that philosophy. And it's the deviation from this lifestyle, this rejection of women that has created this mess in the manosphere, where you have guys coming in and not really knowing what the philosophy is all about, and they begin posting videos, right? But that's why we have groups, right? That's why we have groups that some of us have, or some other content producers have created, and I'm grateful for that. These are groups of men who understand what the philosophy is about, and they do their best to protect it, right? So there's at which point do we draw the line, right? And am I the person to say, this is the right way to do this, or not? Of course not. No one is, but if there's a guy out there that tells you that he takes in the butt from time to time, but otherwise he's straight, what would you think of him, right? Is he gay or is he straight, right? So we have to somehow keep ourselves close to the definition, and I stand by my belief that a lot of damage has been done to the community by people who come in and proclaim that you can use this newly acquired knowledge about women to seduce them, right? That's what pickup artists do. They acquire knowledge about women in order to bring them to bed. Again, MGTOW is a rejection of women. We're turning our backs on them and we're walking away. That is MGTOW. That is men going their own way. And I hope this helps people understand what the philosophy is about in a better way. Anyways, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you the next time.